I want to talk about fixing websites
Why?
because I feel like it's an important topic to share. It's one that has been kind of
Have you been looking at my website,
no,
Louisa?
no, well, yes, but but my own. And do you know that sort of I want to, I because we've been evolving this year, shall we say? We've been
Yes,
evolving.
let's
You and
call
I,
it that. We have evolved
we have evolved. We have grown together as entrepreneurs. We have, you know, there's been
as
lots.
humans.
Yeah, I sit here looking at like this lovely workflow that I did with you, and I've got like lines everywhere and all this sort of stuff. But try to and you talk about messaging and stories a lot,
Mhm.
and I I kind of came to you and went, I'm not very good at storytelling and messaging, and you're like, shut up. But
I will have never said just shut up. I
it
will
was
have said
implied.
tell me
It
more.
it was implied, I think, when you were like, there were noises and funny faces being pulled. But anyway, so I kind of went, what I'm putting on my website doesn't really convey what I do anymore. And as we've evolved over the year, I've been trying to explain explain myself to people. It's so hard. Um, but it's and this is also finding what I love to do because then I love to talk about it. So my workflow stuff, I could talk about it all day, every day. Like you come talk to me about your business, and I will start. It's like the Minority Report where he goes like that, and then like there's all bits and he's whizzing around. That's where my brain suddenly goes, I'm visualizing someone telling me the story of their business.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I want to do more of this. So I've restructured my website to talk about me doing that.
I know. Isn't it great when you actually talk about the thing you do and the thing you do so well?
Yeah.
Um, and I mean the same for me, right? Like, and it's a bit of a mess because, like we say, we've evolved, and so we've kind of made changes, and then, but sometimes you have to sort of maybe go back to basics and go like, actually, what is it that I want people to know? Um, and I think sometimes people say like, oh, your website's your, your shop window, and I go
Yeah.
like, yeah, the front page of your, if of your website should be your shop window. It should
Yeah.
be really clear what it is that you're all about, but really your website is your entire store, right? Like,
Yeah.
you have to then go into some of the detail of it. A lot of us sell through, like literally sell through our website. People will click the buy now button, but it has to be really clear, and it has to be organized, and it had and I think this is where your workflows also come in, is like, is that understanding of how does someone move from, they have never heard about me, through networking, social media, like, the outreach stuff, and then how do they then come into the website, and how do I want them to move through that? And I don't think we always think about the user of our website.
No.
We're just thinking about, I just want to talk about what I do so well, which is great, because when you love what you do, you talk about it passionately, and that's
Yeah.
great. But you have to consider that that you're doing that because you're trying to inform people about what it is that you do, and
Yeah.
make it clear to them why they need what you have on offer.
Well, it
And
wasn't
and
until we
sometimes we it's like, do you know those emails you write, and you started a sentence, and then midway through the sentence you're like, no, I want to change it to that, and then you forget to delete the first half of the
yeah.
sentence that you wrote, and you've got the sentence, and you're like, the person getting the email goes like, I don't know what this means. And I think we do that with our website a lot, where
Yeah.
we're like, oh, I'll just change this little bit, and then it doesn't make sense with the rest, right? Like, I think this is what you're
Yeah.
talking about. Sometimes you have to take a step back, look at the whole thing, and say, this needs to be organized differently.
Yeah. And what butt in here. But when we did the Ugly Duckling Diary and
Mhm.
we videoed mapping that out, we videoed the conversation you and I had, and I sent it to Max and went, I don't know how possibly to cut this down. You know, it was like 16 minutes or something or other, and you're like, cut out this, cut out that, cut out that. I'm like, oh my God, that's
I
magic.
was like, you
Magical.
need these 10 seconds, these 30 seconds, these.
But it's like,
Yeah.
how could we possibly cut anything out because it was just beautiful?
But and
But
because you have a tendency to think that everything is important,
mm,
and it is, but it's not important at every stage, right? Like
well,
you
yeah,
share more and more and more and more information as people sort of come into your bubble, but you can't share everything on the outside of that bubble
yeah,
because people will be overwhelmed and won't understand it. And so you have to take people by the hand. And it's like, I often refer to marketing strategy as within the sort of context of education, because that's where my degrees are, obviously. And I was like, you're teaching a person about your business and about who you are and what you can offer them. But like in their first lesson, you can't do everything in their
yeah,
first lesson, because
yeah,
then they're going to go, I will never learn this.
yeah.
But it has to be structured enough so that they understand what the next step is. I once took a class in Arabic. I lasted 2 lessons,
Mm-hmm.
because in the first lesson he taught us the alphabet, and then in the second lesson he like repeated the alphabet, and we were like, okay, we've got the alphabet, great. And then he was like, okay, make up some words, and I was like, that's not how language works.
No, no.
This
Well,
is not how I learn language.
can I
um
pull you right back to what I was talking about like 3 minutes ago? Mag's got a hooks on an idea and a thought and just went.
yeah,
It's
but
okay.
that's how these conversations go.
I know. Well, I was trying to. I've been here so trying to not forget my train of thought, but it was until I put that on the website, the video that I was talking about.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
People just, I could talk about workflows all day, and people couldn't understand it until we put a video on there, and people went, "Oh, that's how. Oh, okay, gosh, right, And I think I was trying to say what I thought it was about. And people were just kind of going, oh, really? Okay, right. It was like your Arabic thing. It
Like
was like,
that's not how language works. But it's like you have to make it, you have to create clarity in a way that is understandable for people who are not inside your brain.
yeah,
And that is
which
sometimes really difficult.
it's a scary place, but it's also where I kind of go, right, let me tell you about something. And then they're kind of like, what's your name? Welcome to my
Sure.
networking.
But that's it,
Yeah,
right? Like and I think this is what we sometimes need to do with our websites, even if we haven't changed our business significantly, having these sort of regular moments where you just check in and look at it and see, hey, is this still what it needs to be? Is it still clear? Where are people? This is where you love looking at the analytics of something, like what are people looking at? Can I create more around that? When are people dropping off, and can I change what that page is like so that people don't leave the website? or
yeah,
or how can I make sure that they take the next step on this journey that I've mapped out for them? And I think that we we need to look at the whole thing rather than just,
yeah.
oh, let me just change this little thing. Sometimes changing the little thing is enough, right? Like,
Mhm. Stick a button
but
in. What does the button do? Well, it encourages people to then, it's a call to action. It's something they do. And
but
having a
if
button,
once or twice a year you can take a moment to look at your entire thing
yeah,
and see, is this still working? Is my and that's just strategy review as well, right? Because it
yeah,
doesn't just have to, that can be a larger thing where you just take a day and say, like, is how I communicate with my audience, with my clients, with my team, is all of that still aligned in the same way? And your website is definitely part of that. And it's let's look at the whole thing rather than just the homepage or
yeah.
just the about me page.
Yeah, the one thing that website developers absolutely hate is when someone asks them to build a website and then they say, well, what do you want on the website? Oh, we're not really sure. Can you come up with something? There needs to be a plan of action about what your message is on your website before you even start the conversation with a web developer.
Yeah.
And then people get so fixated on the design. oh, I don't really like that color. It's like that's almost at the end, but it's the only bit that you don't feel comfortable with the rest of it. So you're kind of going with what you can fix because you can see it. And so often sort of the websites I've seen a couple of bad websites where it's like, oh, we just had that built recently, and I'm like, oh my
Well,
God, it's an
you and I,
absolute mess.
we looked at a website of a client of ours, and we were like, how did anyone put this to, how, like,
Yeah,
everything that we wanted uh clients to click or audience to click was all like way down on
yeah,
pages. And it's like people don't, like, unless the thing that you want the people to know has to be at the top, because people don't
yeah,
scroll.
yeah,
People are leave a website really quickly. There's so much input. Like, unless it's super clear what you're expecting them to do on the page, they're just gonna
yeah.
go.
And terminology didn't match either. So it was like I was so and I bloody built the workflow for this site, and it was like I'm so confused about this is the wording you have on this page, and then you call it something else on this page, and then but it doesn't really make sense, and then you've got something else in the middle of the page about something else, and then oh, I tell you, my head was hurting after that, man. And I mean, I've really consciously gone back to the website. So now I've put this is the thing I did last week was I put all of the projects that I can talk about because not everything I could talk about because it's confidential, but I put some of them on there so people get context of what I do because
Yeah.
I just don't share enough because I'm like, well, that's not my business to talk about that. But of course, people are like, but I don't understand. So I've kind of put all these different projects and I collaborate on other projects that are pro bono, which I believe in, but I don't get money for them. Because I love the work so much. I'm like, I want to do this. So I'm now trying to put that out as saying, this is a big piece of work that I've delivered on, and I'm very proud of it. So I'm trying to make sure that the effort that has gone into what I do is now represented much better on the page. And I've made it simple for people to see it and then click on it to know a bit more of it. But I kind of was missing that whole element of someone going, you keep talking about this thing, but I have no idea what it is. If it's not on the site, they probably never will get to it.